Hello and welcome to the South Indian. My name is Sudha Sadanand and the big story that we are tracking today is right now coming up on your screens. Lokayukta questions Siddaramaiah in the MUDA case. BJP demands a CBI probe into the matter. Is Siddaramaiah cornered or perhaps not? So that's the big story. Is Siddaramaiah cornered in what can be viewed as a major political upheaval in Karnataka? Chief Minister Siddaramaiah was questioned by the Lokayukta police today for nearly 2 hours. The Mysuru unit of the Karnataka Lokayukta police registered a case on 27th of September against Karnataka Chief Minister and also others on charges of corruption, cheating and forgery. The Lokayukta police are therefore investigating Siddaramaiah's role in the allotment of 14 MUDA housing sites to his wife in 2021 as compensation for acquisition of 3.16 acres of low-value land gifted to his wife by her brother Mallikarjun in the year 2010. Siddaramaiah arrived at the office of Superintendent of Lokayukta Police on Devans Road in Mysuru in a private vehicle and was closeted with the Lokayukta police officials from 10:10 a.m. to 12:05 p.m. Security was of course beefed up around the office of the Superintendent of Lokayukta Police because there is also a code of conduct in place owing to the by-elections. After his questioning by the Lokayukta, Siddaramaiah said, and I quote, "Lokayukta is an independent agency like CBI. I have answered all the questions asked by the Lokayukta. My answer has been recorded by the Lokayukta. They will proceed with further investigation. My wife has returned those sites saying that there are accusations against me." Meanwhile, the Karnataka High Court has sent a notice to Siddaramaiah and others on a petition seeking transfer of probe to the CBI. BJP leader and former Chief Minister B.S. Yedurappa also called for the case to be handed over to the CBI for a thorough investigation. Listen in.
ನಮಗೆಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಲೋಕಾಯುಕ್ತದಿಂದ ಏನೂ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವರೇ ಇದೊಂದು ರಾಜಕೀಯ ದೊಂಬರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ದಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿ ತಾನು ಸಾಚ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂಥ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಲೋಕಕ್ಕೆ ತರೋದಲ್ಲ. ನಿಜಕ್ಕೂ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕರಿದ್ದರೆ ಇದನ್ನು CBIಗೆ ವಹಿಸಿ ತನಿಖೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾನಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಹ ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಸೇರಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಹ ಆಗ್ರಹ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಸಹ ಆಗ್ರಹ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, ಇದನ್ನು CBIಗೆ ತನಿಖೆಗೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು.
So the question we are asking is Siddaramaiah cornered? Will this result in creating a major upheaval in Karnataka politics, or it is just like passing showers? Let's debate. My guest today is Dr. Baswaraj Itnal, senior journalist and political analyst. Dr. Itnal, welcome to the broadcast. Good to see you after a long time. Dr. Itnal, we have a past precedent, of course, in the man who just spoke, former Chief Minister Yedurappa. You know, in the mining case, he had to resign. I want to ask you that, is Siddaramaiah feeling hemmed in? Look at this. It's not just this. Today, of course, being questioned by the Lokayukta for 2 hours is bad enough. But there are also other swords which are hanging on his head, you know, the Valmiki scam, and then several other things. How do you look at this? Do you see this as a temporary kind of a trouble for him? Or do you think that this will have an impact in the, you know, on the overall politics of the state, sir?
No. This is not a temporary trouble, nor is it sort of a passing phase, because even as Siddaramaiah keeps up an appearance of bravado and indifference, we have seen in the past couple of instances, he has openly hinted at he being at the fag end of his, Chief Minister's tenureship. So he has said that, no, how long I'll be here, I don't know. And as long as I'm there, at least for 1 year, you bless me. All these things he has said in last couple of months. Having said that, the point here is that whether the investigation must be handed over to CBI or not, it's a different thing. You know, first of all, what was the contention? What was the argument of the Siddaramaiah faction when this Chief Minister's position was being, hammered out last year? Immediately after the Vidhan Sabha elections, because one of the arguments was that if we make DK Shiv Kumar as the Chief Minister, He has ongoing cases against him. So if there is an arrest or if there is an inquiry against him, that will be an embarrassment for a sitting chief minister to face inquiries. This was the argument, made by the Siddaramaiah faction. But what has happened now? The very same man who said that his political career of 40 years had been unblemished and spotless is facing inquiry. And that's number one. Number two, a very important question of propriety is it acceptable in terms of political propriety for a chief minister, sitting chief minister, to go and, face an inquiry conducted by a junior, IPS officer in his own government, whether he is Lokayukta or elsewhere? He is a Karnataka IPS. He is not elsewhere. And the counter argument is today only Siddaramaiah said, what about CBI? Who controls CBI?
Right.
But at least CBI is not controlled by the accused. No. In this case, the accused is controlling the Lokayukta police.
Right.
Indirectly, not exactly directly. On
So-
paper, Lokayukta is autonomous, but it is Lokayukta police is posted by Karnataka government itself.
Dr. Itnal, a lot of people have written about it. I mean, political commentators saying that it's a good thing that it goes to the CBI. We all know CBI, caged parrot, dances to the tunes of the masters, etc. But leave that aside, and they say that if the investigation is carried out within Karnataka, they fear that it could be biased. Do you think that there is a possibility, Dr. Itnal, of that, being done?
What is the subtext here today? As far as what Siddaramaiah said, Siddaramaiah is full of praises of Lokayukta. Same Siddaramaiah who had abolished Lokayukta in his last stint. He had said Lokayukta is redundant. He had taken away the Lokayukta police and made that into an anti-corruption bureau controlled by the state government. Now, this is a man who had no faith in Lokayukta. Today he is praising Lokayukta. What does it mean? Does it mean Lokayukta, he is sensing Lokayukta being, a very stringent and strict in the case? Does he having that? Does it give that vibe? It does not.
Yeah.
So at least from outset, one suspects that.
Right.
The only way to alleviate all these fears and suspicions is to hand over the case to CBI. Whatever CBI criticism is facing, we all know. That's different thing.
Yeah.
But at least he should hand over the investigation to an agency not controlled by you directly or indirectly.
Right. Dr. Itnal, the thing is that, he's been very defiant. He said, everyone keep quiet. We have a bite which we keep playing. A journalist approaches him and he says, Somaneru, keep quiet. I don't want to talk to you about anything. So that shows the man is not just defiant, he's actually frustrated. When we don't have answers, we'll tell each other to just shut up. In cases like that. Now, I want to ask you, the center, the top, the high command seems to be wanting a status quo. And it seems like they want Siddaramaiah to be around. They don't want this because I think they won, Karnataka with a fabulous margin, and that 5 guarantees has been copied in Telangana. That 6 guarantees is getting copied in Maharashtra. Look at this. Karnataka has created a domino effect, Dr. Itnal. So, the thing is, the perception is, when they don't want me to go, when the people don't want me to go, then who are you? Now, you meaning media, of course, and also BJP, JDS. Do you think that he's terribly nervous now? Because let's not forget, DK Shivakumar is in the shadows.
It does come across as, being very nervous and, this kind of arrogant defiance comes only from that kind of inflated complex or that kind of nervousness. Now, where was I? DK Shivakumar's point,
Right.
Sorry, you were talking about party high command being nervous about Siddaramaiah. Yes. What has happened is the Congress high command is extremely wary of Siddaramaiah's political capital in terms of his eye in the vote base. They don't want to come across as somebody who forced him to go. They're waiting for him to realize on his own and, put in the papers. Maybe various pressures like look at various other things. Because as far as guarantee is concerned, few days ago, Karge himself was admonishing both Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar.
Absolutely.
So High Command is waiting for Siddaramaiah to get exhausted and exasperated and eventually submit voluntarily to resignation,
Right.
not by force.
Yeah. Dr. Itnal, we all remember you were there with us during the elections, Karnataka, this 40% Sarkara, pay CM, etc., etc. I think the BJP will have a fabulous time in throwing back the egg at Siddaramaiah and the others, saying, you called us corrupt, you called us 40% Sarkara, now what? Do you think that will also gain traction amongst the people, the guarantees notwithstanding, Doctor?
This, Siddaramaiah will face a political hurdle as sum total of various factors. One of them is MUDA, but it is not only MUDA, because MUDA, as far as the accused or alleged corruption is concerned, it's not a big factor. Whereas this, combined with the guarantee schemes being implemented at the expense of increased taxes, and then combined with the corruption case of Valmiki board, SCST board, and then various instances like just yesterday, a small clerk, an SDA committed suicide in Belgium. In his suicide note, in his death note, he mentioned Lakshmi Balkar's PS name. So all these things together, and then this totally unnecessary, controversy started by Mr. Zamir Ahmad Khan about Waqf lands and, notifying the farmers' land as Waqf land and all these things. All these things are classic BJP domains where they have an expertise, whereas this communal and other factors come in. So he is giving all these things on a platter to the opposition.
Also, I see that, he brought up the entire devolution, tax devolution thing, and of course, it is unfair, and we've had discussions on that on this program. But he's again bringing it up, saying there is a bias, they are unjust, we pay so much, we hardly get crumbs. Do you think he's creating a kind of an atmosphere where there is bias against him so that he can come across as a political martyr, Dr. Itnal?
It's not bias against Siddaramaiah in person. It is bias against various other South Indian states. That's a fact, because whether it's Karnataka or Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, we are, treated, highly in a discriminatory manner. As far as the tax devolution comes.
Sure, but then he keeps repeating it. You see, recently also, he came to Jantar Mantar, New Delhi, he was protesting. Then again, he spoke about it. I just feel, we all know it's a fact. I completely agree. But the thing is, when I'm guilty of something, I also create a kind of a layer of pity around me that, poor thing, see, his wife also returned all the plots back. She's a decent, pious woman. And also there was bias against me. That's why I've lost out. I just feel, because politicians are master actors as well.
No, he's trying this sentimental card quite often. Today also he said, I don't have a single house in Mysore, as if there is some kind of a privilege or he's entitled. Nobody prevented him to build houses. Anyway, he's a lawyer after all. He's not he's a lawyer. He had been minister so many times. Who prevented him to build a house for himself? And that cannot be held against, against an accusation of corruption or a wrongdoing. It's not an excuse. And he's using all the sentimentalities combined with the caste factor, combined with his being backward, combined with his tactics of dividing, let us say, Hindu-Muslim in the name of Waqf, or Lingayat versus Virashaiva in the name of religion, and even in the internal reservation of backward communities. The Sadashiva report is pending. So all these things are his tactics to stick to his voter base.
Right.
And that I probably is somewhere I'm sensing that he's feeling he's losing that. That's why all these emotional outbursts.
Yeah, you look at it, Valmiki, of course, scam, MUDA, of course, scam, but then this whole notices issued, for Waqf land, and then saying no notices will be, all the notices I'm going to withdraw, also. So I just think that somewhere the man has got embroiled in his own doing. It is, forget the scams, but this Waqf thing, and also this entire caste census, sir, where the Lingayats and the Vokkaligas are once again saying, only do it after the by-elections are over. Don't do it before that. Somehow I feel Siddaramaiah is really feeling zeroed in and hemmed in right now, and out of his own doing.
Absolutely. And again, another point about this caste census, that he's wrongly using the word caste census. It's not census. It's a survey. It's a sample survey. A sample survey is not a census. And he's talking as if he has done some kind of a detailed and elaborate census on various communities, and he wants to implement that. And that's not acceptable to anybody. If you ask me, I don't think even the backward communities will accept it, because it is not census, it's a survey. A survey, made to suit his own designs. So that may not be acceptable to many people, not just Lokayukta and Lingayats. So
Dr. Itnal, the thing is that it just seems that, Siddaramaiah is feeling extremely cornered right now. But let's wait and see. I mean, there is a case of Yadurappa, and let us see where Siddaramaiah goes, because it will be a pity after such a fabulous victory and getting the guarantees in place and, kick-starting the government. But then politics is actually a very strange game, and you never know when it can come and hit you back. Dr. Baswaraj Itnal, as always, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. Thank you, sir. Coming up next, Malayalam actor Nivin Pauly given a clean chit by the police in the sexual assault case. That's a big story. So Nivin Pauly, the Malayalam actor, has been given a clean chit by the special investigation team probing the sexual assault case against him. The Kottanamangalam Munnukal police, which was investigating the case, submitted a report stating that Nivin had no involvement in the alleged crime and that he should be removed from the list of the accused. The report was filed in the Judicial First Class Magistrate Court. The probe report revealed that Pauly was not present at the location where the incident allegedly took place, as per the claims made by the survivor. The SIT in its report said that upon scrutinizing credit card transaction records and other travel details, it has concluded that the findings did not corroborate the allegations against Nivin Pauly, and hence his name shall be removed from the list of the accused. Pauly had been accused by a woman who claimed that the actor assaulted him on 14th of December 23 and that the incident happened in Dubai. And time now for a break, and then we bring you all the important headlines today and also tell you what's happening across the nation. Stay with us.
The most admired cricket icon and former Team India head coach Rahul Dravid is in the headlines these days. But from the cricket ground, he's now been spotted facing the camera. What is the special thing that Mr. Dependable is now working on? Is Dravid working on his biopic? Or is it a new book or autobiography that he's planning? Is it an ad film or a new tournament that he's preparing for? What could be his next adventure? We are trying to find out. What's your guess?
The next Indian icons, beating everyone on the globe. B6E and XEV9E. Mahindra's electric origin SUVs. Catch them at Unlimit India.
Look what happened. Is this crazy? Fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day I will be fighting for you. I believe the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country and maybe beyond.
All right, welcome back. And after the South, let's now focus on the entire country and also some very, very important international news. The headlines at this hour. Donald Trump, elected as the 47th President of the United States, wins both the electoral and popular votes. Trump secures the presidency by winning all the 7 key swing states in the election. This will be a golden age for America, says Trump in his victory speech. I am not going to start wars. I'm going to stop wars, declares Republican US presidential nominee Donald Trump in his victory speech. Republicans take control of the Senate for the first time in 4 long years. The Jammu and Kashmir Assembly, amid uproar, passes a resolution seeking restoration of special status. Supreme Court criticizes UP government for illegal house demolitions, orders 25 lakhs as compensation. Our top story at this hour. With Delhi NCR facing terrible AQI levels, the one sight which first thrilled many was the soap suds like foam floating what they thought was a river of foam, that it was the result of Chhath Puja, dedicated to the worship of the sun god and is a significant event for The Delhi High Court today rejected a PIL seeking to allow Chhath Puja celebrations at the bank of the Yamuna. The court said that performing Chhath Puja rituals on the Yamuna river bed will be harmful for devotees because of its pollution levels. The court said, and I quote, "It will be very harmful to you. The fact is that the river is so polluted that if you dip into it, there is the likelihood that people will suffer harm. We cannot allow that. The river itself is highly polluted." Those are the visuals of the river, on top of which is floating white foam, which thrilled a lot of people, but it's actually pollution. And the authorities had promised that they shall use some kind of filters to clean the water out. But then look at the situation today, and I think the High Court absolutely was bang on when it said it will harm your health. And the reason being that last month the Delhi unit chief of Bharatiya Janata Party, Virendra Sachdev, fell ill and was hospitalized for days after taking a dip in the heavily polluted water of the Yamuna river. News coming in from Uttar Pradesh. The Supreme Court rapped the Uttar Pradesh authorities for what it described as its high-handed approach in demolishing a house for widening a road without giving prior notice, and directed them to pay the owner 25 lakhs as compensation. The three-judge bench, presided over by Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, was hearing a suo motu writ petition dated 2020 based on a complaint made by Maharajganj resident Manoj Tibrewal Akash, whose house was demolished in the year 2019. Now, the CGI said, and I quote, "This is completely high-handed. Where is the due process followed? We have the affidavit that says no notice was issued. You only went to the site and informed the people through a loudspeaker." Now, in defense, when an argument was presented that the complainant encroached public land, the CGI Chandrachud responded as follows. "You say that he was an encroacher of 3.7 square meters. We take it. We are not giving him a certificate for it. But how can you start demolishing people's houses like that? This is lawlessness, walking into somebody's house and demolishing it without notice." Terming it very high-handed, another judge, part of the three bench, said as follows: "You can't come with bulldozers and demolish houses overnight. You don't give time to family to vacate. What about the household articles? There has to be due process followed." Besides ordering the payment of compensation, the Supreme Court also asked the UP Chief Secretary to hold an inquiry against officers and contractors responsible for the demolitions and also initiate disciplinary action against them. The Jammu and Kashmir Assembly on Wednesday passed a resolution seeking restoration of special status to the erstwhile state. Amidst uproar, the Assembly passed the resolution which called upon the central government to hold talks with elected representatives for restoration of special status. The resolution was moved by J&K Deputy Chief Minister Surinder Chaudhary, who said, and I quote, "This Legislative Assembly reaffirms the importance of the special status and constitutional guarantees which safeguarded the identity, culture and rights of the people of Jammu and Kashmir and expresses concern over their unilateral removal." Close quote. The resolution added that the process should safeguard both national unity and aspirations of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Soon after the resolution was introduced, BJP members, including the leader of opposition, Sunil Sharma, protested, saying that the resolution was not part of the listed business. Now, this was followed by an uproar among the treasury benches, even as BJP members tore the copies of the resolution and threw the paces into the well of the House. Amidst this uproar, Speaker of the House, Abdul Rahim Ratha, put the resolution to vote, which was subsequently passed by the House. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, while addressing the Samvidhan Samman Sammelan in Nagpur, targeted the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, saying that both
इस पर आक्रमण करते हैं तो उससे बनता है। अगर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन नहीं होता, ये नहीं होता, तो इलेक्शन कमीशन नहीं होता। राजाओं महाराजाओं के पास इलेक्शन कमीशन नहीं होता था। तो इससे हिंदुस्तान का एजुकेशन सिस्टम, आईआईटी, आईआईएम, प्राइमरी एजुकेशन सिस्टम, सेकेंडरी एजुकेशन सिस्टम, ये सब निकलता है। पब्लिक अस्पताल यहां से आते हैं। इसको आप मिटा दीजिए, आपको एक पब्लिक अस्पताल नहीं मिलेगा, एक पब्लिक स्कूल नहीं मिलेगा, एक पब्लिक कॉलेज नहीं मिलेगा, सब गायब हो जाएगा। और आरएसएस एक के बाद एक, आरएसएस इस पे सीधा आक्रमण नहीं कर सकती है, डरते हैं। अगर सामने से इसके साथ लड़ गए वो 5 मिनट में हार जाएंगे.
And with that, it's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.
Look what happened. Is this crazy? Fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day I will be fighting for you. And I believe the greatest political